What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. Well, if you've been following Dragon Age, it's been a sad tale. 10 years of development and oh so much money, a lot of anticipation to find out what happened to Solus, the Dreadwolf, and it turned into a modern day gender identity propaganda game where all of the bad people were straight and white, and all of the good people were all the various ethnicities that are not white, and of course all the sexual identities under the sun, trans, gay, non-binary, pansexual. They had them all. They were all leadership. And a lot of this stuff, this is not even to talk about the poor sales, the poor player counts, getting beaten by farming simulators. And a lot of this info came from sources from Endymion, and then later sources from Smash JT. Source is a source, of course, but they're not all equal. And thankfully, one confirmed the other, and now it looks like BioWare is hunting them down. So this all comes from Fandom Pulse. Shout out. So this comes from Smash JT saying that he's heard that they're now looking for them, and the reason they're looking for them is all of the leaks of information. That being first with Endymion, who brought to us the news that Star Wars Outlaws, first and foremost, was super underperforming. Not that we really needed confirmation of that, but they had only sold like 1 million units or some pathetic amount, and that at the time, Dragon Age Veilguard only hit, and not even hitting 90,000 in concurrent player count. On Steam, there's obviously the consoles, of which we know people weren't really playing that much because of achievement and trophy unlocks. That almost barely hit 500,000, so half as much as Star Wars Outlaws. That came from him sources. And then later on, of course, we had Smash JT with his saying the Dragon Age, the Veilguard sales numbers are leaking out. Between Endymion and myself, I confirmed with a source that the numbers that Endymion had released are accurate. And holy crap, are they pathetically low for a very big mass-produced, highly touted, praised to be a great classic adventure that people would love for the ages, has turned into what this stuff always does, woke slop that people sniffed out immediately. And there's a Suicide McDuggins, of course, the character I think Hypnotic, friend of the channel, made, that got him banned. He even added rope tattoos to the neck that they allowed him to, that BioWare allowed him to. Shout out to Hypnotic. And then, okay, later on, confirming that according to YouTuber Endymion, who cited his inside sources, the game has sold fewer than Star Wars Outlaws. After hearing the news from Endymion, I couldn't help but reach out to a source at BioWare to find out if that was true. And yes, according to them, this confirmed about 500,000 units has sold. So that was 500,000 at the time. Then a few days later, we got this message from him saying, just been informed by my source at BioWare that they've been updated over the weekend that Dragon Age the Veilguard has now crossed over 1 million in sales. And while I personally still have my doubts to this number based on the surrounding circumstances, and I think he's pointing to the mass amount of refunds that we've heard about, over 30,000, the fact that you can look at the true achievements and the trophies, and that the unlocks on console are not anywhere where they should be for people who bought it, and obviously not more than 90,000 people are playing it on Steam, while Farming Simulator has over 120,000 people in the first 10 hours or 20 hours, some ridiculous number like that. So I think those are the circumstances he means. He says, I wanted to pass along the info in the interest of a full disclosure to all. I'd imagine BioWare will be making a marketing push at some point with this info. And so here goes the new, now that we're all caught up to date on why BioWare would feel strong. It's pretty embarrassing to have those numbers come out and then be confirmed. So here's Smash JT saying there is an ongoing investigation to try and find out who these leakers are. Think about this for a second. BioWare, instead of taking accountability, realizing what they've done is wrong and trying to fix it moving forward, have now tried to project their issues and try to find who these people are that are trying to call it out elsewhere because they're afraid for their job if it gets called out internally, right? Because toxic positivity, they're not allowed to bring these up inside the office, because you're not allowed to be critical of any of the decisions at this company if you work there. You're hearing that in a lot of companies and studios. Some employees called for retribution against the original whistleblower they are far more concerned with silencing any kind of whistleblower than actually addressing the issues within the company. He says he went on to highlight the broader issue of what I just say, positive toxicity or toxic positivity at BioWare, where raising any kind of legitimate concern has now led to fear of backlash and being labeled as negative or harmful. And guess what? Because I'm straight 1984 shit right there. That is also exactly what has happened in almost every movie studio, writer's room. You can't bring up, well, that sounds, otherwise it's positive toxicity, or I don't like that. Toxic positivity is it's the better way to say that. The underlying problem, as I see it, stems from the growing corporate greed. Well, they'd be making more money if they listened to us, but and the increasing influence of these activist groups. Their views are being pushed onto everyone, and dissent is often met with severe consequences. Yes, because
for a modern gaming audience.
Inserting
the message.
Resulting in.
That's a lot of damage. How about a little more?
And that's a masterclass in what not to do to your games or franchises. Either way, let me know what you think about all this. How much longer does Dragon Age have before we start hearing significant failings beyond the obvious? Player count is embarrassing for a AAA game, 10 years in the making. Either way, let me know what you think. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. I don't know why I started talking like this, but hey.
Well, bye.